Well, hello everybody. It's me, Mitch. I want to talk today about the culture of eating and what we've become as a society and what we find more and more necessary for us to think that we're actually enjoying or enhancing our meals. We've gone from the cavemen way back sitting on a rock up against another rock, just eating with their bare hands, to what we have invented called fine dining, with fancy places, fancy dining rooms, waiters in tuxedos, fine wines and drink to accompany our meals. Artisan chefs that carefully, with tweezers, place little bits of food, trying to create a piece of artwork to be presented to us by a waiter with a white towel draped over his arm and a pepper grinder in the other hand. For some reason, we think that we need this to enjoy our food, to make it even further from just sustenance and nutrition, which it is, to an event. And we've labeled it fine dining. Unfortunately, my friends, when you make the tough decision that your health is more important than entertainment, fine dining goes away. Fine dining offers nothing for you because it's only an opportunity to eat what we now know are slowly poisonous foods. But we miss that experience. We miss something. We miss something that enhances our pleasure and makes it an event more than about just stuffing food in our faces. I've missed some of that over the past couple of years, being a carnivore, especially being a carnivore living alone. And you see so many of these carnivore influencers, like Sean Baker, Dante Ferrigno, for one, comes to mind, who do a little something to enhance their eating experience, other than just sitting on a rock in front of another rock and stuffing meat down their face with their bare hands. I've done this a couple times, and it amazed me. It absolutely amazed me how much more enjoyable it made the meal. Now, this may be coming from a male perspective, because we men gain a certain amount of pleasure from holding weapons, from doing things that may seem a little barbaric to females. And if the women among you that are watching this don't understand what I'm saying, then maybe what I'm saying isn't for you. But I have found that a meal of meat, especially a beautiful steak, eaten off of wood instead of a ceramic plate, cut with what looks like a hunting knife, just does something. It just makes the meal more enjoyable. Now, it might be enjoyable or more enjoyable if we could eat these meals in rustic settings, in settings that may be reminiscent of medieval feasts. Or maybe it's just enough to be eating our meat off of wood and cutting it with a big-ass knife. So I went ahead and I bought this wooden plate because, unlike a cutting board, this will contain the juices. Got this on Amazon. Link will be in the description of this video, and you can always go to my website, oldguycarnivore.com. On the page that says links to stuff I use, and you'll find not only this plate in there, not only a big 8-inch Damascus chef's knife, but you'll also find every other gadget, kitchen tool, pot, pan, small appliance that I use for two reasons. I use them in my own lifestyle, and I've bought all these things with my own money to make carnivore better, more doable, and more sustainable for me. But I also use them in my cooking demonstrations and the making of these videos. And I'm always on the hunt to find something, to find things that make what most would think is an incredibly boring and limited diet into more of a very fulfilling, and that's not a pun, experience of actually eating and enjoying not only just the flavors of this wonderful food that we eat, but the actual experience, of eating it. Last night for dinner, I ate my first steak off of that plate, and I filmed it. So I hope you enjoy this short clip of me searing a beautiful ribeye in carbon steel in butter, setting down to eat it with this beautiful wooden plate, a big-ass knife, and a big-ass grin on my face. It was great, and something I'm going to continue to do because it added just another dimension to how we enjoy eating real food and the whole experience of getting healthy, feeling good, and all the other benefits that a carnivore lifestyle affords us. Enjoy the clip. Don't get too hungry. All right, we're gonna sear off a steak that I sous vide. This big ribeye. And eat it on my new plate tonight. So we will turn our carbon steel pan on high, get some butter out of the fridge. Let the pan get good and hot. There we go. This doesn't take long. It's very easy. Not a big mess. That's the way I like it. All right, so we got that. Gonna blot this off. We'll open up the bag with the sous vide steak in it. This is a nice thick ribeye, cooked beautifully, very tender, and blot it off real good while the pan heats up. Get it ready. Going to use my big knife to eat it with. Get that primal experience. So there we have the knife. I'm going to need a fork, and that's going to be it. We're going to get that pan screaming hot to make sure I get a good sear on this. To turn on the range hood so you pardon the noise. I can use my digital thermometer here. About 350 degrees so far. The nice thing about carbon steel is it's very heavy, heats evenly, holds the heat, which is important when you put a steak or cold food in it. It doesn't just cool it down. We're up to 409 degrees, which is hot enough to start searing the edges. And we want to sear the edges of the meat and the fat. So we'll start with that. You don't have to do it too long. I do maybe 15-20 seconds on each edge, especially if there's fat. And let's go to this side. I need to salt this steak too. I haven't salted it yet, so as soon as I lay it down flat in the pan, I'll go ahead and salt one side of it while the other side sears. There we go. Now we're just going to lay it down in the pan, put some of the pink Himalayan sea salt from the little electric grinder here. Of course, all of these gadgets and gizmos are available on the links to the stuff I use page on my website at oldguycarnivore.com. If you feel the need to have any of these tools, I appreciate it. Those are affiliate links for me and help the channel out if you buy any of these things. Everything I use in the kitchen is on that page. You'll see it there. oldguycarnivore.com. Links to the stuff I use. That's the end of my shameless plug for right now. The steak is going to go on this wooden dish here. When it's done, we'll sear it for a minute and a half aside. That's going to be it. Very easy to clean up. Basically, all I need to do when I'm done is wipe out the butter, whatever's left, because I do pour the butter on top of the steak with a paper towel after it cools off a little bit. And most of the time, you don't even need to wash it under water. If you do get something to stick to the carbon steel pan, you use a little bit of underwater and you use a chainmail scrub like this. Just lightly go over it so as not to take the seasoning, that polymerized coating that makes the pan mostly non-stick. Once you get these carbon steel pans seasoned, they're very low maintenance, and they'll become an heirloom that you can pass on down generation after generation. They're indestructible. They don't warp, they don't bend. Worst comes to worst, you can take them down again with a scrubber, re-season them, and start again like brand new. This particular one is the Debeye, spelled D-E-B-E-Y-E-R. The 11-inch carbon steel pan. Had it for quite a while now, and it's absolutely great. All right, let's turn this over. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the sear on that. Just for fun. Just for grins. What do we got here? We have 520 degrees. That's a good hot pan. Or a glass top electric stove, not bad. And this pan is holding its heat. Got a nice crust on that sear. Did you ever think you'd get a play-by-play, like a sports game, of a steak searing in a pan? Okay, I can turn the heat off now. I think that is probably done. Probably done. Yes, it is. I'm going to take my steak and put it right on that plate. Boy, doesn't that look great. I'm going to take a little bit of the butter that I have left in the pan and pour it right over the meat. And that's where this plate is nice because it has edges and lips, so it catches it. And wipe this a little bit. A little bit of splatter on the cooktop, nothing major. And that's it. That's really all the cleanup. When that pan cools a little, I'll just wipe it out with a paper towel. And we're done, and we're ready to eat. So let's go over here. Let's go over here. Take a look and see what this looks like. Wow, 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 wow. And you don't have to let it rest for a very long time. God, there's just something about this. You don't have to let it rest for a real long time because you never got the center of it too hot where it's going to overcook. It was sous vide to 128 degrees. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to cut into it with this razor sharp knife. We're going to take a look and see what we got. Oh, it's gorgeous. Look at that. Just beautiful. Let's cut a few slices up here. And have a taste of this. Wow. Bon appetit, Mitch. Mmm. That is just terrific. Just terrific. Great taste. Salt only. No other seasoning. Very tender. Perfectly cooked the way I like it. I love eating off of this plate. This is great. And tomorrow I'll have my new Damascus knife from Amazon, and we'll see how I like that. But I think this is the way that I'm going to be eating meat from here on out. Anyway, thanks for watching this short little video. Now you guys can leave me alone and let me enjoy my dinner while you take the rest of the day off and eat your own meat.